What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. So today I'm down at Hendrick BMW Northlake and we get to take a look at this 2022 BMW 750i xDrive sedan. So huge shout out to them for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. All that info is down in the description. The 750i that you see behind me is finished off in Bernina Gray Amber Effect, and it has a list price right over $123,000. Underneath the hood for the 750i, this utilizes the 4.4 liter twin power turbo V8 engine. This is paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission, and it pumps out 523 horsepower around 5,500 RPM and 553 pound-feet of torque as low as 1,500 RPM. It has the xDrive all-wheel drive system, weighs in right around 4,700 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds up to its top speed of 155 miles an hour. And it has a fuel capacity of 20.6 gallons. You'll expect to see around 17 miles per gallon in the city and 24 out on the highway. This has a wheelbase of 126.4 inches. Its overall length is 207.4. It has a width of 74.9 and a height of 58.2 inches. As we work our way to the exterior now for this 750i, you'll see we have the kidney design for the grille. It's completely finished off in gloss black. You can see all of the vertical slats running throughout it. This also has active grille shutters, so this piece right here will remove and open up just to provide better aerodynamics for this model. You can see the integrated forward-facing camera is nicely placed right in the middle. And then on each side, we have the LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. And you'll see that the turn signal has a really nice design running across the upper section of the housing. We have the LED DRLs with that C-shaped design just underneath the headlights and the high beams. And they have a sleek design to them too. It matches nicely with the grille. You can see we have some more contoured lines on both sides with even more openings throughout the lower section of the bumper. You can see on the corners too, we even have functional cutouts for air inlets to provide better aerodynamics. You can see that on both sides in the middle section of the grille, along with the forward-facing sensor nicely integrated right in the middle. That's a part of the adaptive cruise and all of that technology features. So we have a really nice front-end design. And then up on the hood, you can see all the lines running down it, meeting the top of the grille there very nicely. This 750i also has the M Sport package. So we get these 19-inch wheels finished off in gloss black. They have a multi-spoke design to them. And this model even has the M Sport brakes. You can see those are finished off in blue, which is a really cool contrast against this exterior color. We even have a functional trim piece just behind the front tires, so that way airflow can go through the front of the bumper, around the tire, and exit through that trim piece. You'll see that's finished off in gloss black, and it runs the length of the lower section of the door. This model here also has the carbon fiber mirrors, which is a really nice touch. You can see the integrated turn signal along with a camera system. I'll show that camera system later in today's video. We have more black surrounding the entire window trim. This even has the full moonroof. So you can see that on the upper section there, which is great to see. All the lines running down the 750i have a really nice design to them too. You can see one just above the front tire there, running through the height of the door handles. We have more lines on the lower section as I already showed. And then working our way to the rear, you can see we have a small trunk mounted spoiler just to give it more of a clean look. And you'll see this has a backup camera along with all the parking sensors down in the lower section of the bumper. This also has LED taillights. You can see they have a nice dark housing to them, along with the connector bar that runs right through the middle of this power trunk. And then also down below, you can see the dual exhaust, as well as some off-colored trim surrounding the exhaust on both sides, and more body-colored work in the lower section of the bumper, just to break it up and give it a really nice look. But with the exterior wrapped up, it's time to move on to the trunk storage space. You can use the button on the key fob or the electronic button up underneath the BMW logo. And you'll see with that open, we have a ton of space. You can see there's also a floor liner in here. We have some battery components over on that driver's side. A little bit of storage space over on the passenger side, and it's a pretty deep space, so you can definitely fit a lot of items. Up top on the trunk, you can either close and unlock the vehicle. If you push the one on the left side, it will just close, keeping the vehicle unlocked if you already had it that way. And now let's work our way to the second row seating, or if I just place my hand in the door handle, you can hear it automatically unlock, so you can lock and unlock this vehicle from the back seats. You'll see on the door panel, we have some very nice materials. You can see all the black leather, really cool wood trim above the brushed aluminum. It's also on the release handle. We have the 16 speaker Harman Kardon sound system. You can also see a little bit of storage if you want to use that. We have all the window controls along with some of these sunshade adjustments, which I'll show here soon. We even have a little bit of storage space down in the lower section of the door. And this has a very large door sill, making it very easy to enter and exit. So at 5'10", I have no issues with easily getting in. And then we have that grab handle too, which is nicely hidden on the back side of the door there. You'll see with the front seat set at my height, I can almost extend my legs all the way. There's definitely plenty of room. You can see you have a little bit of storage space behind that seat too. And then above my head, I have around 4 or 5 inches. It's very, very luxurious in the back seats here. We even have this middle armrest here where you can pull this down, and you'll see if we open this back up, we have a lot of storage for anything you'd like to place there. There's also a cutout in the middle of the seat too. So if you unvelcro this, open it up, you can actually open this up and gain access to the back. So if you have longer items, makes it very versatile in being able to put those through the middle. And then with that Velcroed back into place, you can hide that out of the way just to make it look much nicer. We also have 2 cup holders in the front section of this armrest if you need to use those. Definitely plenty of visibility out of the back seats here as well. We have really large second windows on that door there. And then back to this seating position here, you'll see up in the headliner, we do have these mirrors if you need to look at yourself. We also have the sunshade here, which is controlled by one of those buttons that I mentioned earlier. So if we start with this upper left one, we have the sunshade for the driver's side here that you can easily put up and down. Using the one on the other side will correspond with the passenger window. So you can put that up and down, of course. The one on the back left side is for the rear glass. So you can put that up and down. And then the last one is for that sunroof. So you'll see there is a sun on there, so you can use that one to open and close it. You'll see there's some lighting strips here too on the front section of the door, which is really cool to see. But you definitely have a lot of space. Right in the middle, you can see the 2 air vents. We also have all the AC controls, so you have the temperature. We have the heated seat adjustments, fan speed, where you'd like the air to go. You can see there's a little bit of storage. And then at the very bottom, you can see there's a 12 volt along with 2 USB-C ports, so you can charge electronics as needed. There's leather on both sides. You can see more of that trim. It's also over on this passenger seat backing too. Just gives it a really, really nice, luxurious feel to it. And then as we work our way to the front seats now, the door handle is just like the rear one. You can use this to lock and unlock it. And then the door panel is finished off just like the rear one. However, we do have the additions of the memory seating adjustments. We also have the massaging function on the door panel too. You can see all of the window controls along with the side mirror adjustments finished off in brushed aluminum. There's the power trunk release along with a lot of storage space down below. Same trim pieces as you already saw. You can see the M badge down on the door sill. And then looking at these black Napa leather seats again, they have a really nice design to them. I like this dark gray piping that runs down them. You can also adjust the front section of the seat as well, and that is automatic. So you can use this control here to adjust that as needed. And we have all the other controls down on the side. And now just like the rear, this is a very large door opening. We have a low door sill, so it makes it very luxurious to enter and exit. And then looking at the steering wheel now, you'll see it's completely covered in solid black leather. We have more of that brushed aluminum just to tie it in with the rest of the interior. You can see this is a heated steering wheel. We have the M Sport badge. And then to use all these controls, let's go ahead and start this up. So with my foot on the brake, we have that engine start stop button over on the right side, and we can bring this to life. And you'll see on this very large digital gauge cluster, over on the left side is the fuel gauge along with the miles per hour. On the right side is the tach and the engine temperature. Currently you can see the map as well right in the middle. And then within that tach, you can also go through a lot more information using this button over on the top of the turn signal stalk. So you can see some data information right now. If I push on that again, you can see live readouts for your horsepower and torque. So if I give the vehicle some gas, you can see those adjust. You can also pull up your G-force meter. You can see the radio when you have that on and running. And you can also see what driving mode you're in, along with what gear you're in as well. So it's helpful to have that information along with your live readout for your MPG right in the middle there, which is great to see. And then coming back to the steering wheel, you'll see over on the right side, we have volume and tuning for the radio, as well as your Bluetooth and voice commands. You can see these steering wheel mounted paddle shifters are finished off in that brushed aluminum. And then over on this left side, we have all the adaptive cruise and cruise control settings, along with different modes that you can go into, as well as your distance pacing that you can monitor. Over on this left side, you can see we have the headlight controls as well as the parking lights. You can see one air vent along with more of that trim that you saw over on the door panel. The entire dash is covered in leather. This model also has the heads-up display. So currently it's showing the miles per hour and the speed limit sign. And then front and center, you can see this massive touchscreen system that has a lot to go through. You can use it as a touchscreen system or this dial down below. So you'll see shortcuts for map and navigation along with menu. We have media and phone. There's a rotary dial there along with back and option. So currently on the home screen, you have a lot that you can go through. You can look at your navigation along with your media and phone. You have local traffic conditions as well as the compass. You can even pull up the date, time, weather, and the news. So you can look at all of that right on the home screen. And then all the icons that you see over on the left side are all stationary. So that way they're fixed there. You can look at your media and phone. You can pull up the navigation in full screen when you need to use that. You can also go into car and go through a lot more different settings. You have vehicle status, so that way you can monitor your TPMS, your engine oil level. You can look at your interior lighting, even go into all the different colors for the ambient lighting. So you have multiple colors here, just depending on the mood that you're in. You can easily and quickly set that. You can also look at some other displays, your driver assistance, your exterior lighting, even going into the driving modes. So you can see sport and eco along with being able to adjust your engine and transmission depending on how you want to drive this vehicle, which is of course great to see. You also have your carrying car, your different driver profiles. If you have more than one person driving this vehicle, you can even look at your owner's manual. And then you can also go into apps. You can view Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and all these other icons here, just depending on what you'd like to use. We also have a shortcut just underneath the screen for the intelligent safety. So you can go into here, configure your forward collision, your side collision. You even have your lane departure, your active blind spot, and your steering assist. And then you'll see just below that on both sides, we have this slider for the temperature. So you can quickly adjust the temperature for driver and passenger. You can open and close the fan there. I think it's really nice to have that feature. Of course, you can use the dial below to adjust the temperature as well. But if you just quickly want to do it, you can slide on there and you can see that icon there, follow my finger, just depending on where it is. You'll see all these controls down below are for your climates. With the exception of the upper ones here, you do have presets for the radio. We have power and volume, tuning is over on that right side, and a few other controls for that. And then you can see we're back to the dial for the temperature. You can see this large LCD screen for your fan speed. You have the heated and ventilated seat controls, so you can quickly get access to those. You'll also see the front and rear defrosters, where you'd like the air to go for your driver and your passenger. You can even sync those two as needed. And then looking below that, you'll see we have a wireless charging pad along with a 12 volt and a USB. There are two cup holders on both sides. And if you want to hide all of this up, you can close it halfway or all the way. You can see it's covered in more of that wood trim. And then working our way to this shifter now, the release is on the left side. If I push this up, that is for reverse, of course, where you can see the backup camera along with a top-down view, and we even have some presets so you can see around this entire vehicle. We have the automatic for the rear view camera there. If I swipe this over once, you can see the 3D system, so that way you can see everything around this entire vehicle from the exterior. And then if you use your hand in the position that it shows you on the screen, you can actually go around this with the gesture control in being able to see around it. So that's a pretty cool feature to have. Of course, you can just use the buttons over here if you'd like to. And then we do have the car wash setting. So even if you're pulling into a parking spot, for example, you can use this just to see where that front end is. If I put the vehicle into drive now you can see the forward facing camera. We have those shortcuts as well that you can use. With it in drive, you can also go over to the manual setting, which allows you to use these paddle shifters. And then you just push the P on the top. It will automatically go back into park. Over on this left side, you can see traction control along with the different driving modes. So we have Sport, Comfort, and Eco Pro. You'll notice too that the gauge cluster will change depending on the driving mode that you're in. So for sport mode, it turns red. Comfort mode will turn orange, and we have a few different settings there. And then the last one is Eco Pro, which will turn blue. So it's nice to see that digital gauge cluster change. You'll see too that we have the parking sensors, which you can turn on and off. We do have a shortcut to the camera system. This will also pull up the forward-facing camera in full screen, which is great to see. And then we do have the adaptive suspension, so you can raise and lower this vehicle just by pushing on that button. You'll see too, we have the electronic parking brake along with the auto hold assist. And then looking at the center armrest now, you'll see it's completely covered in leather. If we just push on this button here, that will open up the armrest. You'll see a USB-C and a 12 volt and a good amount of storage space. And then working our way to the glove box now, you'll see there's an ample amount of room for all the information that needs to go down there. We'll take one last look at these seats. And like I mentioned earlier, we do have the full moonroof. So it's actually split between your front seat passengers and your rear seat passengers. So you have that shade in the back as well. And you have those adjustments up top. You can push on this one here and that will automatically open up your passenger one. And you can see the dome lights are on both sides. All right, so getting this 2022 BMW 750i xDrive out on the road with a slight acceleration there in comfort mode. This has plenty of power. I'm gonna do another acceleration here later, but just with that mild acceleration, this will get up and move. We have that 4.4 liter V8 engine, definitely packs a punch. And so far the power has been pretty smooth. For this type of luxurious sedan, that's what you're looking for. You want something that may be quick. This is definitely quick, but it's going to get up to speed and be very smooth at the same time. So the gear changes are almost going to disappear. You're not really going to feel them, especially in automatic mode here where we're just cruising. Obviously, I'll use the paddle shifters here in just a little bit. But enough talking for right now. Let's pop it over into the manual setting. We're going to put it into a sport mode and then downshift to second, give it a little bit of gas. Oh my gosh. Like I said, the shifts are very smooth. Even using the paddle shifters, you can barely feel that shift. This is quick. It's not crazy loud. Wow. Woo-hoo. If you're looking for something that has the performance to it, we're gonna take it around some of these twisty roads here. It is crazy how quick this vehicle is. And yet at the same time, it's quiet. It's very, very refined. There's no wind noise, road noise. You really can't hear the engine. Wow. For 4,700 pounds, it took that turn very solid. You really couldn't feel, at least I couldn't feel any body roll. I mean, it was very hugged to that turn there. And so now switching over to the POV angle, you can see what it's like to give it some gas in this 750i. It definitely gets up and moves. And we can do a quick visibility test and maneuverability test with this 3-point turn, looking at the camera systems. So we can go all the way into reverse there. Camera systems definitely do a great job. We even have the forward-facing camera. Like I showed earlier, you can pull that up in full screen too if you'd like to, which is really nice. And then as I look over my right shoulder, you can see from this angle here, very easy to see in both directions. Definitely the place to be. We'll give it one more acceleration for today's review here. So we'll put it into manual mode again. We have it in sport mode. Here we go. So from third gear, it just wants to keep going. It has a lot of power, even as you get into the higher RPM range there. So let's go down to second gear. Woohoo! Definitely a lot of fun to drive. I can't see anything that I don't like about the 750i. All of the materials, again, as I've mentioned, it's just a very nice ride. If you're looking for something, you can still put passengers in the back. You can even be driven around if you want someone else to drive. You have plenty of storage space. This is definitely a great option. So I think that's gonna wrap it up for this 2022 BMW 750i xDrive. Once again, huge shout out to Hendrick BMW Northlake for providing this vehicle for me today. Make sure you guys check out their website. All that info is down in the description. If you enjoyed today's review, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button if you'd like to stay up to date with our daily uploads. And I will see you guys in the next video.